Good morning, Tim Sykes here. Another little trade recap on two trades. The good news with a slower market is it gives me more time to kind of step back and make these videos. So leave a comment below if you like these little trade recaps. Remember, challenge students, live webinar Q&A today, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. So come ready with questions. To everyone emailing me and asking me about, how do you learn for life as a lifetime challenge? Please email admin@timothysykes.com. I've been mentioning that you can learn for life. It takes away, all the pressure to, really cram in so much studying all at once. And frankly, some students burn out because, they don't have enough time to study everything. Learning for life helps you see that this is a marathon and not a sprint. If you do have questions, again, don't message me about it. I'm busy making videos, trades, commentary, watch lists, a lot of stuff. I have a whole team. So again, email admin@timothysykes.com. In the title, write Lifetime Challenge. And my team will tell you all the details about that. I'm watching ASTI here, 10-day chart, nice little breakout over the past few days. Already got a few questions about it. So I wanted to make a video. Two trades today, one win, one loss, but the win is bigger than the loss. I underestimated them both. So it's a good habit to get into where I'm trading extra safely. You see that I have a lot of like plus or minus 500, 1,000, $1,500 type trades as opposed to the past few weeks where I've been having $5,000 and $10,000 type profits. I'm just really keeping it, tighter right now, like aim small, miss small mentality, just because we're not seeing, the truly massive runs. ASTI, I mean, frankly, this is impressive that it spiked this much. The questions I got is, they did a financing. Normally people think financings are bad. Yes, they are typically bad. But ASTI got the financing done at 4 cents. They raised a few $1,000,000 at 4 cents a share. That's actually pretty impressive. Sometimes, when you can raise that much money, especially like a low price stocks. I mean, most of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cent stocks have no shot at even making it, let alone, raising money. Like no one's interested in giving them millions of dollars. They're all nearly bankrupt. So for a 4 cent company to pull off a financing is impressive. At a price, it was announced pre-market today, the stock was trading at 4.4. So we're only talking like a 10% discount to the current price. That's a positive. So people are asking why the spike? Because it's impressive. And I said this, in my alert, I said it's impressive that this company even pulled off a financing, and it's a former recent runner. If you remember it from a few days ago, sorry, the charts in level 2 are a little laggy. By the way, all softwares are having problems right now. Whether it's E-Trade or Stocks to Trade or Schwab or Fidelity or TD Ameritrade, everyone's like, oh, this is lagging. Welcome to the market, okay? We're in a freaking bubble here. All these companies are overwhelmed. So you guys can bitch and moan all you want. It doesn't change anything. Just contact customer support. I'm so sick of people saying this in the chat rooms as if like, oh, you posted about the software issue in the chat room. Oh, it's all imaginably going to be like fixed. Sorry. I haven't had my coffee yet. But there's no reason to bring it up in the chat room. Focus on alerting stocks in play. There's a limited amount of brain capacity and chat capacity that we have. It should be focused on potential plays. If you have any issues with no matter what your broker is, no matter what your software is, contact your broker, contact your software. But at the same time, have the proper perspective. It's not because the companies don't want to give good customer service and good products right now. It's because they're overwhelmed. Okay? When you have software issues, we all have it. No one's special. Okay? And all of these companies are overwhelmed because they have more customers than ever. This is a bubble, and it should help you understand that. And you should have the proper perspective. So if you see me like saying to somebody in the chat room, like, contact your broker, contact your software provider, do it. Don't clog up chat space. There's too many potential lessons and stocks in play. That's what the chat is for, not for bitching and moaning about software or broker issues. Contact them. You pay the software, you pay the broker, make them deal with it. Why do we have to deal with it? Rant aside. ASTI, I sold it a little too soon too. But again, I'm very aware of my profits and losses on the day. I know that a lot of my top students turn off their profit and loss because they want to like give these charts maximum amount of time. I mean, this wasn't like a perfect play. This wasn't like, oh my God, they did a financing at 10 cents. It's going to double. It was just a speculative morning spiker where I was like, hey, this is impressive that they can do this. Let's see how far it can run. I didn't get it on a dip. I thought I was chasing a little bit. So when I have a speculative trade like that, I'm not going to be aggressive, especially in this market. So that's what that trade is. But I am happy that, it spiked, another half a cent a share. What did it hit? 5.7, and I got it at 5.3. Yeah. So, again, I'm doing this like 10, 15 minutes after the trade. So it's still higher than where I sold it. I think that's a good habit to get into where you leave a margin of error. You leave, more room, to screw up if you ever need to. And I gave a second alert, even though I was already out. And I said, if I was still in it, I'd be out at 5.5. So even that one, I underestimated the 5.7 highs. But on speculative morning spikers in a slower market, I have no problem underestimating. Now let's talk about my loss, because I think there's good lessons here too. MSTO, I said this is a nice morning panic dip buy. Goal is to profit 5 to 10%. But I said cut losses quickly if no bounce, since it's not a multi-day winner, just a one-day runner. So again, I know that this is a slower market. I know that this is not like a multi-week, multi-month runner like I prefer to dip buy. It's just a one-day runner. It could bounce, but it's speculative. So on speculative plays, I'm going to trade smaller. I'm going to trade quicker. I'm going to trade safer. And again, a lot of this is just having the right perspective. Like some people who don't know the difference between a one-day runner or a multi-week runner, and they're aggressive on this. Some people, were making a lot of money a few weeks ago, and they don't recognize the market shift, so they're still aggressive now, and now they're losing. A lot of this is just adapting and putting yourself in the right position. So even though I have a loss, unlike most traders who can't show or talk about their losses, I'm not embarrassed. Losses happen to everybody. And again, I followed my rules in the commentary before I even exited. I said what's going to happen, where if it doesn't bounce, I'm out. I know sometimes I double up. I'll double up if it's a multi-week runner, if it's a hot market, if it's a big panic, if it's a perfect play, if it's a better setup. This was not a perfect play. This was a speculative setup. Both of these trades were speculative. It was a speculative morning spiker and a speculative, morning panic. I traded them both too conservatively, as it turns out, but I still made money overall between the two. That's the strategy here, where I'm adapting to the market. I'm adapting to the setups, and I'm playing it, overly safe. This is a good thing to get into. Some people are like, come on, Tim, play it less safe. No, on speculative plays, I'm going to be extra safe. So MSTO, by the way, I was just making fun of its PR yesterday. I bought it yesterday, but I underestimated it yesterday too. They say that they're going to list their auto parts basically on eBay and Amazon, and they crafted this whole PR where it was like, oh, we're working with Amazon and eBay, and people were like, wow, look at this little tiny company. There's going to be an auto parts marketplace with eBay and Amazon. This thing is worth $1. I saw all the promoters pumping it. It's literally like the year 2000 all over again. The press release was a joke. So today, I'm not going to be aggressive on it. Yesterday, I just wanted to be a part of it. I just wanted to buy it and see what I could do with it. I was in it somewhere in here in the ones. I didn't, even think that I could get to the twos. But this is the market that we're in. And I think it's important for me to trade this madness. Let me show you my trade from yesterday. I think it's important so that you understand. Again, yesterday I made a little under 1,000 on it. I had a loss on PONGF, by the way. A lot of people are asking me questions about that. I only got out of PONGF because WSGF came about. Both of these were two stocks to trade breaking news plays, adding crypto to their businesses, right? So PONGF is going to build a virtual casino based on crypto, which I think is just laughable. But Atari is like this old blue chip company. So I can see the news kind of going viral. And PONGF did spike more later. It was a great stocks to trade breaking news. It was right here when the news came out and it couldn't really hold its game, so I got out of it. And then later it went up. It was a nice 20% bounce over, I don't know, what was this, like 2 or 3 hours. So there was more upside there. But I got into WSGF because this is a former runner and they added crypto. WSGF was my biggest winner this week, and I sold it right near the highs on the breaking news spike. So I sold that one well. So again, even though I underestimated PONGF, what did I lose? I lost $15, and I got into a play where I made several thousand. So don't worry if you sell too soon, or if you protect, or if you're like me and like, I can't take 2 trades at once. I'm looking at every single trade. I'm looking at the level 2. I know some people don't use like the 1 minute charts that I look at. They're like 15 minutes. They don't look every second. I'm, hyperactive. Okay. I'm impatient. So I don't mind this at all. If you offer me 2 trades and you say on one trade you're going to lose $15, on the other one you're going to make over $3,000, I'll take those 2 trades every time, right? And the funny thing is, I was actually more right on PONGF, but it's not about what you're right on; it's what you can capture, right? So I'm proud that I was right on PONGF. I don't mind that I lost because I found what I thought was a better play, even though WSGF turned out to not be a better play, but I captured it better. So this is trading. You start to understand, why do 90% of traders lose? Because it's not about good versus bad companies like newbies think. It's a lot of, little nuances. The most money that you can make comes down to the smallest details. So I know that it can be overwhelming. I think these trade recaps help. Again, leave a comment below if they're helping you. I'll try to do more of them when the market is slow, when I have time. Otherwise, I'm busy trading and giving commentary, but I see kind of an opening here. This is why I offer a lifetime challenge option, And again, email admin@timothysykes.com for a lifetime challenge, not me. I'm overwhelmed as it is. But the more that you see this stuff, you start to see, are you good at holding one stock at a time? Are you good at holding multiple plays? All I talk about is myself because I want you to learn my process. I want you to learn my mindset. But you're different from me, okay? You have a different mindset. You have a different personality. You have different strengths and weaknesses from me. Maybe you're not so impatient. Maybe you can hold 2 or 3 stocks at a time. Maybe you don't want to trade, overly safe like I do. All I can do is tell you the way that I'm thinking, the way that I'm trading based on my own experience. And I think that's a good guide to, helping you build your own process and your own plan. Like, okay, if Tim does this, let me try this. Oh, if Tim does this, let me think like this. And that's how this is. Not that you should copy me, not that you should follow anybody's alerts. This is all about you becoming self-sufficient and finding what works best for you. So MSTO, I took a loss. A lot of people would be like, wow, Tim, you lost, a lot of money on that. But for me, it's a paper cut. It's a scratch. It doesn't matter because, frankly, it was a speculative dip buy. I didn't believe in the press release. I knew that it was a joke. There actually was a good bounce, but it wasn't this first one. I got in on this first one, and you can see this one green candle. That was what I was faked out by, and then it made new lows, and I was out. The second panic down here at 2.1 actually was a good dip buy from 2.1 up to 2.6. So it did bounce 20%. I was just one panic too early. And on speculative dip buys, some people say, well, why don't you just wait for the second one? With one-day runners, sometimes you get, that first panic, and then it turns around and goes green, because it turns into like a 2-day runner. So that's what I was thinking that it could do. Obviously, it's not doing that. It's holding near its lows. It's dead to me now. But on one-day runners, I'll often be quicker in and quicker out, just in case it has the potential to go quick on a day 2 type spike. That was my thinking there. So I was early. I was wrong. There was a better dip buy later on, but I don't care. The stock didn't do what I wanted. I played overly safe, and I moved on to a better play. Very similar to PONGF and, what was it? WSGF yesterday, right? Like 2 plays together, 1 loss, 1 win. As long as your wins are bigger than your losses, and sometimes it won't be this perfect. Sometimes you'll have two losses. Again, you need to get a lot of data. You need to get a lot of experience. This is not an exact science. You can't just be like, Tim, you have two wins, or you have, out of 4 trades, you have 2 wins and 2 losses, but your wins are bigger than your losses. You're nailing it. I had 4 trades and they're all losses. I suck. No, you don't suck. You just have 4 trades. I have thousands of trades under my belt. It astounds me that people think that like they're going to be master traders or even good or profitable traders with like a few trades or a few dozen or maybe a few hundred trades. It doesn't work like that. Let me just remind you, big picture thinking, right? Like these are little trade recaps. I'm trying my best on every trade, but I'm following my rules that keep me safe. But again, this is built on thousands and thousands of trades, 2+ decades of experience. So if you're overwhelmed, if you're losing, guess what? That's normal. The market also just changed. So if you weren't making a lot when the market was so hot, that's understandable too, because frankly, it was overwhelming. There were so many plays. All my top students who have made the most over the past 6 months when the OTC market really got on fire, they've been with me for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Some people message me and they're like, oh, I've been trading for a month and I still don't get it. And I'm like, yeah, keep it up. You're not going to get it so easily like in the first few days or first few weeks, first few months. The reason why I say this is because, again, the way that I teach is different. I'm not like these other BS chat rooms where it's like follow the leader, and I'm live streaming to 10,000 people and I'm just buying a low float stock and I'm telling everyone to buy it and follow the leader. I don't want that. I don't want you to ever follow me or anybody else. There are no leaders. It's all about you. So if you look at my top students, if you look at what makes me successful, it's because we're trading our own plan. We've learned what plans we're best at, what strategies, what setups. We're trying to adapt. We're trying to cut losses quickly. And every single day, whether we win, whether we lose, whether our wins are bigger than our losses, we learn. We get better. So that by year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have so much data, so many examples of good and bad. We know what's good for us. We know what's bad for us. We can adapt. That's not to say that we know everything because the market changes. Sometimes we're wrong. Sometimes I'm impatient. But the past 2 days, really the past 3 days, all this week, I'm very, very, safe, right? And I might be at 6.8 million, but, year to date, I'm playing it very safe. Year to date, in 2.5 months, I've already made 600,000. Okay, keep this in perspective because again, I know some people are like, don't look at the overall profit and loss. Focus on the chart. That's fine. For me, I'm Jewish. I think about the money. I donate all of this to charity, so I want to donate the most possible. But keeping things in perspective again, because I'm a big data kind of guy. Even though I'm not an Excel spreadsheet freak, I don't use Excel spreadsheets, but I have an idea of the big picture. This already in 2.5 months of 2021 is my 3rd best year in 20+ years. And it's only been 2.5 months, okay? I'm already on track for the best year ever. Now, whether I hit 1 million or not, we'll see. I just take it trade by trade. But again, I have the proper perspective on my losses. I have the proper perspective on my wins. I have the proper big picture perspective. All of this comes with a lot of testing, a lot of refining, a lot of practice, and a lot of experience. So you need to get that. When I bring up lifetime challenge, I'm not saying that you're like a slave to the market for life. It's just a perspective shift that says, oh, the market will always be here. Oh, there's going to be morning panics. There's going to be morning spikes. There's going to be good markets. There's going to be bad markets. Oh, I'm a student for life. I can learn from everything. And that way you put yourself in the best position 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years from now. That's the mindset to have. Not how much money can I make right away, my rent is due next month. That's the wrong mindset. If your rent is due, if you're counting on trading profits, if you're like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and make so much from trading, that's the wrong mindset. You have to be patient. You have to be willing to be wrong. You have to be willing to lose. You have to be willing to learn. The most money that you make will be in the long run. So you need to stick with it. That's today's lesson. good little trades for me. One win, one loss. It's okay. I managed my loss. I was turned out to be, more right on both of them. I underestimated both of them. That's a good lesson. When you can make money and learn, that is a win-win. Again, leave a comment below if you want more trade recaps like this. Challenge students, give me some good questions roughly, 6 hours from now, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern today. See ya.